This is the third Dhamma talk of this collection, entitled
This is called
No
Convention
Abiding
and Liberation.
And this was first published in A Taste of Freedom, and it was a
first
talk given
published
to the
in
monks, novices and lay
called
people
A Taste of Freedom,
Nanachat,
and
on a
it's
visit
from
to
an
Wat Pah
informal talk
during the
given in
Rains
the
Retreat of
Northeastern dialect
1980.
from an unidentified tape.
We hear some of the teachings and can't really understand them. We think they
The
shouldn't
things
be the
of
way
this
they
world
are,
are
so we
merely
don't follow them.
conventions of our own
But
making.
really, there's a reason to all the teachings.
Having established them, we
Maybe
get
it
lost in them
seems
and
that
refuse
things
to let
shouldn't
go,
be that way,
giving
they
rise
are.
to clinging to personal views and
At
opinions.
first, I didn't even believe in sitting meditation.
This clinging never ends.
I couldn't see what was the
It
use.
is samsara,
What use it would be just to
flowing
sit with your eyes
endlessly on.
closed. And walking
It has no
meditation,
completion.
walking from this tree to that tree,
Now,
turning
if we
around
know
and walking
conventional
back again,
reality, then
why
we'll
bother?
know
I thought.
liberation.
What's the use
If
of
we
all that
clearly
walking?
know liberation,
I
then
thought like
we'll know
that,
convention.
but actually, walking
This
and
is to
sitting
know the
meditation
Dhamma.
are of great
Here,
use.
there is completion.
Some people's tendencies cause
Take
them
people,
to
for
prefer
instance.
walking meditation.
In
Others
reality,
prefer sitting.
people don't have
But
any
you can't
names.
do without either of
We're
them.
born naked into the world.
The scriptures refer to the four
Our
postures:
names arise
standing,
only through
walking,
convention.
sitting, and lying down.
I've
live
contemplated
with
this
these
and
four
seen
postures.
that if you don't know the
You may
truth of
prefer
this
one to the
convention,
other,
it can be
but
really
we must
harmful.
use all four.
It's simply something we use
The scriptures
for
say
convenience.
to make these four postures
Without it, we
even,
couldn't communicate.
to make the
There'll be
practice
nothing
even
to
in all
say.
postures.
No
At
language.
first, I couldn't figure out what it meant to make them even.
I've seen Westerners when they sit
Maybe
in
it means we
meditation
speak
together
for
in
2
the
hours
West.
and stand for 2 hours
When they get
and
up
walk
after
for 2
sitting,
hours.
men and
Maybe
women
that's it.
together, sometimes
I
they go
tried
and
it.
touch each other
Couldn't
on the
do
head.
it. It was
When I saw this,
impossible.
I thought, hey,
That's not what it meant.
if we cling to
make the
convention,
postures
it gives
even.
rise to defilements right there.
Making the postures
If we
even
can let go of
refers to the
convention,
mind,
give up
to
our
our
opinions,
awareness,
we're at peace.
giving rise to wisdom in the mind, to illumine the
As a
mind.
footnote, it says, to touch a person's head
This
in
wisdom of
Thailand
ours
is
must be
usually
present in all
considered an insult.
postures. We must know
This was
or
a
understand
Very
constantly.
strange and mysterious thing for people to
Standing,
be doing in a
walking,
random
sitting
way.
or lying down,
After
we know all
sitting
mental
together
states as
meditating.
impermanent, unsatisfactory, and not self. Making the postures
If we
even
can
in
let
this
go of
way can
convention,
be done.
give up
It is
our
possible.
opinions, we are at
Whether
peace.
like or dislike are present in the mind,
Like the
don't
generals and
forget our
colonels,
practice.
men of rank and
we
position,
are aware.
who come to see me. When they come, they say, "Oh,
If we just
please
focus
touch
our
my
attention
head."
on the mind constantly, then
This
we have
is
the
being,
gist of the practice.
considered an auspicious
Whether we
thing in
experience
Thailand
mental
to have your
states
head
which the world knows
touched
as
by a
good or
highly
bad,
esteemed monk.
we don't forget ourselves. We
If
don't
they
get
ask
lost
like
in
this,
good or
there's nothing
bad.
wrong with it.
We just go
They're
straight.
glad to have their heads touched.
Making the
If you
postures
tap their
constant
heads
in
in the
this
middle
way
of the
is
street,
possible.
it'll be a different story.
If we have
This is because
constancy in
of
our
clinging.
practice, when we're
So I
praised,
feel that letting
then
go
it's simply
is really the
praise.
way to peace.
If we're blamed, it's just
Touching a
blame.
head is against
We
our
don't get
customs,
high or low
but
over
in
it.
reality,
We stay right
it's
here.
nothing.
Why?
When they agree to have
Because
it
we see the
touched,
danger in all
there's
those
nothing
things.
wrong with it.
We see their
It's like
results.
touching a cabbage or a
We
potato.
are constantly aware of the danger in both praise and
Accepting,
blame.
giving up, letting
Normally,
go.
if we have
This
a
is
good
the way
mood,
of likeness.
the mind is good also. We
Wherever
see them
you're
as the same
clinging,
thing.
there's becoming and birth right
If
there.
we have a bad mood, the mind
There's
goes bad
danger
as well.
right there.
We don't like it. This is the way it is.
The Buddha taught about
This is
convention, and he
uneven
taught
practice.
to undo convention in the right way.
If
and
we
so
have
reach
constancy
liberation.
just to the extent of knowing our moods and knowing
This
we're
is
clinging
freedom,
to them, this
not
is better
to cling
already.
to conventions.
That is, we have awareness.
All the things in this
We know
world
what's
have a
going
conventional
on,
reality.
but we still can't let go.
Having established them,
we
we
see
should not be
ourselves
fooled
clinging to
by
good
them,
and bad, and we
because
know it.
getting lost in them really
We cling
leads
to
to
good,
suffering.
and we know it's not right practice.
This point
but still,
concerning
we
rules
can't
and
let go.
conventions is of utmost importance.
This is 50 to
One who can
70%
get
of the
beyond
practice
them
already.
is beyond suffering.
There still isn't release,
However,
but we know
they are a
that if we could let
characteristic of our
go,
world.
that would be the way to peace.
Take Mr. Bunma, for instance.
We keep seeing
used
the
to be
equally
just one of
harmful
the crowd,
consequences of
but
all
now
our likes and
he's been
dislikes,
appointed the
of
district
praise and
commissioner.
blame continuously.
It's just a convention.
Whatever the conditions
but
may
it's a
be,
convention we should
the
respect.
mind is constant in this way.
It's part of the world of people.
But if
you
worldly
think,
people get
"Oh,
blamed or criticised,
Before we were friends,
they get really upset.
we used to work at the tailor's together.
If they get praised,
and then
it
you go
cheers
and
them
pat
up.
him on the head in
They
public.
say it's good
he'll
and
get
get
angry.
really happy over it.
It's not right. He'll resent it.
If we know the truth of our various
so,
moods,
we should follow the
if
conventions
we know the
in order
consequences
to
of
avoid
clinging to praise
giving
and
rise to
blame,
resentment.
the danger of clinging to
It's
anything at
useful
all,
to understand
we will
convention.
become sensitive to our
Living in the
moods.
world is just
We will
about
know
this.
that clinging to them
Know the
really
right
causes
time and
suffering.
place. Know the person.
We see the suffering, and we see our very clinging
Why is it wrong
as the cause
to,
of that
to
suffering.
go against conventions?
We begin to see
It's
the
wrong
consequences
because
of
of people.
grabbing and clinging to good and
We
bad
should be clever,
because we've
knowing
grasped
both
them
convention
and seen
and
the result
liberation.
before.
Know the right
No
time
real
for each.
happiness. So
If
now
we
we
know
look
how to use
for the way
rules
to
and
let go.
conventions comfortably, then we are skilled.
Where
But
is
if we
this
try
way
to
to let
behave
go?
according to the higher level of reality
In Buddhism
in a
we
wrong
say,
situation,
don't cling to
this is
anything.
wrong. We never stop
Where is it
hearing
wrong?
about this
don't cling
It's
to
wrong
anything.
with people's defilements.
This means to
That's
hold,
where.
but not to cling.
People all have
Like
defilements.
this flashlight.
In
We
one
think,
situation we
"What is
behave
this?"
one way,
So we
in
pick it
another
up.
situation
Oh,
we must behave
it's
in
a
another
flashlight.
way.
Then we put it down
We
again.
should know the ins and outs
We hold
because we
things
live within
in this way.
conventions. Problems
If we didn't
occur
hold anything
because
at
people
all,
cling to
what
them.
could we do? We couldn't do
If we
walking meditation
suppose
or do
something
anything.
to be,
So we must
then
hold
it
things
is.
first.
it's there
It's wanting,
because we
yes,
suppose
that's
it
true.
to be there.
But later on, it leads to
But if we
barami,
look closely,
virtue,
in the
or
absolute
perfection.
sense, these
Like
things
wanting
don't
to come here,
really
for
exist.
instance. Venerable Jagaro came to Wat Pah
As
Pong.
I have often
He had to
said,
want to come
before
here
we were
first.
laymen, now we are
If he
monks.
hadn't felt that he wanted to come,
we lived within
he
the
wouldn't have
convention of laymen.
For anybody, it's
Now
the
we
same.
live within the
They
convention
come
of
here
monk.
because of wanting.
We are monks by
But when wanting
convention,
arises,
not
don't cling
monks
to
through
it.
liberation.
So you come, and then you go back.
In the beginning we established
What is
conventions
this?
like
We
this.
pick it up.
But if
Look
a
at it and
person
see.
merely ordains,
Oh, it's a
this
flashlight.
doesn't mean he
Then we put
overcomes
it
his
down.
defilements. If we take
This
a
is called
handful of
holding,
sand
but not
and agree
clinging.
to call it salt,
We let go.
does this make it salt?
We know, and
It's
then
salt,
we let go.
but only in name.
To put it simply, we
not
say
in
just this:
reality.
know, then
You
let
couldn't
go.
use it to cook with.
Keep looking and letting
Its
go.
only use is within the realm
This they
of
say
that
is
agreement.
good. This they
Because
say is
there's
not
really
good.
no salt there.
No, and then
only
let
sand.
go. Good and
It
bad,
becomes
we
salt
know it all.
only through
we let it
our
go.
supposing it to be so.
We don't foolishly cling to things, but we
This
hold
word,
them with
liberation, is itself just a
wisdom.
convention.
Practicing in this
But
posture
it refers to
can be
that which
constant.
is beyond convention.
You must be constant like this.
Having
Make
achieved
the mind
freedom,
know in this way.
having reached liberation,
Let wisdom
we
arise.
still have to use
When the
convention
mind
in
has
order
wisdom,
to refer to it
what else is
as
there to look
liberation.
for?
If we didn't have convention,
We should
couldn't
reflect on what we're
communicate.
doing here.
So it does have its
For what
use.
reason we are living here.
For example,
What are we working
people
for?
have different names.
In the
but they're all
world,
people just
they
the
work
same.
for this or that
If
reward.
we didn't have names to
but
differentiate
the monks
between
teach
each other,
something a little deeper
and we
than
wanted to
that.
call out to somebody standing in a crowd
Whatever
saying,
we do,
"Hey, person,
we ask
person,"
for no return.
that would be
We work
useless.
for no reward.
You couldn't say
Worldly
who would
people work
answer you
because they want this
they're
or
all
that.
person.
Because they want some gain or
But
other.
if you called, "Hey, John,"
But the Buddha taught
then John
to
would
work
respond,
just
and the
in
others
order to
wouldn't.
work. We
names
don't ask
fulfill
for anything
just this
beyond that.
need. Through them we can communicate.
If you do
They
something just
provide
to
the
get some
basis for
return,
social behavior.
it'll cause suffering. Try it out.
So
for
you
yourself.
should know both convention
You
and
want to make your
liberation.
mind peaceful, so you sit down and try to
Conventions
make
have
it
a use,
peaceful.
but in
You'll
reality,
suffer.
there
Try
really
it.
isn't anything there.
Our way is more refined.
Even people
We do,
are
and
non-existent.
then we let go.
They're
Do,
merely
and then
groups
let
of
go.
elements, born of causal conditions, growing
Look at the
depending
Brahmin
on
who makes a
conditions existing
sacrifice.
for a while,
He has some desire
then
in mind,
disappearing
so he
in a
makes a
natural way.
sacrifice. Those actions
No
of
one
his
can oppose
won't
or
help him
control it.
transcend suffering because he's acting
But without
on desire.
conventions, we would have nothing to say.
In the beginning, we
We'd have no
practice with some
names,
desire in mind.
no practice, no
we
work.
practice on, but we don't attain our
Rules
desire.
and conventions are
So we
established
practice
to
until
give
we
us a
reach a
language,
point where we're
to make
practicing
things
for no
convenient.
return.
and that's all.
We're practicing in order
Take
to
money,
let go.
for example. In olden
This
times,
is something
there
we
weren't
must
any
see for
coins or
ourselves.
notes.
It's
They
very
had no
deep.
value. People
Maybe we
used to
practice
barter
because we
goods.
want to go to Nibbana.
Those things were difficult
there.
to keep.
You won't
so
get to
they
Nibbana.
created money using coins.
It's natural
and
to want
notes.
peace, but it's not really
Perhaps
correct.
in the future we'll have a new king.
We must
decree
practice
that we
without
don't have to
wanting
use
anything
paper
at
money.
all.
We should use
If
wax.
we don't want anything at
melting
all,
it down and
what do we
pressing it
get?
into lumps.
We don't get anything.
We'll say, this is money.
Whatever you
and
get
use
is a
it throughout
cause
the
of
country.
suffering. So we
Let
practice
alone wax.
not
They
getting
might even
anything.
decide to make chicken dung the local currency.
Just this is called
All the other
making
things
mind
can't
empty.
be money, just chicken dung.
It's empty, but there is
Then
still
people would
doing.
fight and kill each other over chicken
This
dung.
emptiness is something people don't usually understand.
This is the way it
Only
is.
those who reach it
You
see
could
the
use
real
many
value
examples
of it.
to illustrate convention.
It's not the emptiness
What
of
we
not
use for
having
money
anything.
is simply
It's
a
emptiness
convention
within the
that we have
things
set
that are
that
here,
we have set up.
like this flashlight.
It has its use
We should
within
see
that
this
convention.
flashlight as empty.
Having decreed it to be money, it
Because of the
becomes
flashlight,
money.
there is emptiness.
But in reality, what is money?
It's not the emptiness where we can't see anything.
Nobody can say.
It's not like that.
When there's a popular
People who
agreement
understand
about
like that
something,
have got it all
then a
wrong.
convention comes about.
We must
to fulfill
understand
the need.
emptiness within
world
the things
is
that are
just
here.
This is convention.
Those who
But
are
to get
still
ordinary
practicing
people to
because they have
understand
some gaining
liberation
idea,
is really
like the
difficult.
Brahmin making a sacrifice
Our money,
just to fulfill some
our
wish.
house, our
Like
family,
the people who come to
our
see me to
children,
be sprinkled with
our
holy
relatives
water.
are all simply conventions
When I ask
that we've
them,
invented.
why do you want
But
this
really,
holy water?
seen in the light
They
of
say,
Dhamma,
we
they
want to
don't
live
belong to
happily and
us.
comfortably and not get sick.
Maybe
There.
if we hear this,
They'll never
we don't feel
transcend
so good.
suffering that way.
But reality is like that. These things
The
have
worldly
value
way is to do
only
things
through
for
the
a reason,
established conventions.
to get some return.
If we
But
establish
in
that it
Buddhism,
doesn't have
we
value,
do things without
then
the idea of
it
gaining
doesn't have
anything.
value. If we
The
establish
world has to
that it
understand
has
things
value,
in terms
terms of cause and
then
effect.
it has
But the
value.
Buddha teaches us to go
This is the
above
way
and
it is.
beyond cause and
We
effect.
bring convention into the world.
His wisdom was to
fulfill a
go
need.
above cause beyond effect.
Even this body is
Go
not really
above
ours.
birth and beyond death.
We just suppose it to
go
be
above
so.
happiness. And
It's
beyond
truly
suffering.
just an assumption on our part. If you try
Think
to
about
find a
it.
real, substantial
There's nowhere
self
to
within
stay.
it, you can't.
We people
There are
live in
merely
a
elements
home.
which are born,
To
continue
leave
for a
home
while, and then
go where
die.
there is no home.
Everything is
We don't know
like
how to
this.
do that. Because
There's
we've
no
always lived with
tree-
becoming.
real,
with clinging.
true substance.
If
to
we
it.
can't cling, we
But
don't
it's
know what to
proper that
do.
we use it. It's
So,
like a cup.
most people don't want to go
At
to
some time,
Nibbana.
that cup must break.
There's
But while
nothing
it's
there.
there, you should use
Nothing
it
at
and
all.
look after it well. It's a tool.
Look
for
at the
your
roof
use.
and floor here.
If it breaks,
The upper
there's
extreme
trouble.
is the roof.
So even though it
That's
must
an
break,
abiding.
you should try your utmost.
The lower
to
extreme
preserve
is the
it.
floor, and that's another
And
abiding.
so we have the four supports.
But in the empty
robes,
space
alms,
between the
food,
floor and the
lodgings
roof,
medicines,
there's nowhere to stand.
to which the Buddha taught again and
One could
again.
stand on the roof
to
or stand on the
contemplate.
floor, but not on that empty space.
They are the supports on which a monk depends
Where there
to
is no
continue his
abiding,
practice.
That's where there's emptiness.
As long as you live,
And
you must
Nibbana
depend on them.
is this
But you
emptiness.
should understand them. Don't cling to them.
People
giving
hear
rise
this
to
and they back
craving
up a
in your
bit.
mind.
They don't want to go. They're afraid they
Convention
won't
and
see their
liberation are
children or
continually
relatives.
related like this.
This is why when we bless the
Even
lay
though
people,
we
we
use
say,
convention,
may you
don't
have a
place
long
your
life,
trust in it as
beauty,
being the
happiness and
truth.
strength.
If you
This
cling
makes
to
them
it,
really happy.
suffering will arise.
Sadhu, they
the
all
case
say.
of right and wrong is a good
They
example.
like these things.
Some people
If you
see
start talking
wrong
about
as being
emptiness,
right, and
they don't
right
want
as
it.
being wrong.
They're attached
But in the
to
end,
abiding.
Who really knows what is right and what is wrong?
But have
we
you ever
don't know.
seen a very old person with a beautiful
Different
complexion?
people establish different conventions.
Have you ever
about
seen an
what's
old,
right and
an
what's
old
wrong.
person with a lot of
But the
strength?
Buddha took
or a lot of
suffering as his
happiness?
guideline.
No. But we say,
If you
long
want to
life,
argue
beauty,
about it,
happiness and
there's
strength.
no end to it.
And they're all really pleased.
One says
Every
right,
single one
another
says,
says wrong.
Sadhu.
One says wrong, another says right.
This is like the Brahmin who
In
makes
truth,
oblations to
we don't
achieve
really
some
know
wish.
right and wrong at all. But at a
In our
useful,
practice, we don't
practical level,
make
you
oblations.
can say
We don't
that
practice
right
in order
is not
to
to
get
harm
some
oneself
return.
and not to harm
We
others.
don't want anything.
This way fulfills a
If we want
constructive
something,
purpose for us.
then there is still something there. Just
After
to make
all,
the mind peaceful
rules,
and have
conventions,
done,
and
just make the
liberation
mind
are
peaceful
simply
and have
dumbness.
done with it.
One is higher than the
But
other.
if I talk like
but they
this,
go hand
you
in
may not be
hand.
very comfortable.
There's
Because
no way
you want
that
to
we
be
can
born
guarantee
again.
that anything is definitely like this or like that.
All you lay practitioners
Buddha
should
said
get close
to
to
just
the
leave it
monks to
be.
see their practice.
Leave it be as
To
uncertain.
be close to the monks means to be close
However
to the
much
Buddha.
you like it or
To be
dislike
close
it,
to his
you
Dhamma.
should understand it
The Buddha
is
said,
uncertain.
Ananda, practice a lot.
Regardless
develop your
of time and
practice.
place, the whole
Whoever
practice
sees
of
the Dhamma sees
comes
me.
to
Whoever sees
completion
me
at
sees
the
the
place
Dhamma.
where there is nothing. It's the place of
Where is
surrender,
the Buddha?
of emptiness, of
We
laying
may
down
think
the
the
burden.
Buddha has been and gone,
This is the
but
finish.
the Buddha is the Dhamma. The
It's
truth.
not like the person who says,
Some people
why
like
is
to
the
say,
flag fluttering in the wind?
if I'd been born in
I
the
say
time
it's
of the
because
Buddha,
of the wind.
I would have gone to Nibbana.
Another person says,
Here,
it's because of the
stupid
flag.
people talk like this.
The other retorts
The
that it's
Buddha
because of the wind.
is still here.
There's no end to this.
The Buddha is truth.
The same as the old
Regardless
riddle,
of
which
whoever
came
is
first,
born or
the chicken
dies,
or the
the
egg.
truth is still here.
There's no way to
The
reach a
truth never
conclusion.
departs from the world.
This is just
It's
nature.
there all the time. Whether a Buddha is born or
All
not,
these things we
whether
say are
someone
merely
knows it or not,
conventions.
the truth
We
is still
establish them
there.
ourselves. If
So
you
we
know
should
these
get
things
close
with
to the Buddha.
wisdom,
We should
then you'll
come
know
within
impermanence,
and find the
suffering,
Dhamma.
and not self.
When we reach the Dhamma,
This is the
we
outlook
will reach the Buddha.
which leads to enlightenment.
Seeing the Dhamma, we will see the Buddha.
Training
all
and
doubts
teaching
will
people
dissolve.
with varying levels of understanding is
To
really
give a
difficult.
comparison, it's like teacher Chu.
Some people have certain ideas.
At first he wasn't a
You
teacher.
tell them
he
something,
was just
and they
Mr.
don't
Chu.
believe you.
When he
Tell
studied
them
and
the
passed
truth,
the
and
necessary
they say,
grades, he
"It's not
became a
true.
teacher. And
I'm
became
right,
known as
you're wrong."
Teacher Chu.
There's no end to this.
How did he become a teacher?
If you don't let
Through
go,
studying the
there will be
required
suffering.
subjects, thus allowing
I
Mr.
told you
Chu
before
to
about
become
the four
Teacher
men who
Chu.
go into the forest.
When
They
Teacher
hear a
Chu
chicken
dies,
crowing.
the study to become a teacher still remains.
One
And
of them
whoever studies
wonders,
it will become a teacher.
Is that a rooster or a hen?
That course of study to become a teacher
Three of them
doesn't
say
disappear
together,
anywhere.
"It's a hen."
Just like the truth.
But the other
The knowing
doesn't
of which
agree.
enabled
He
the Buddha
insists
to
it's a
become the
rooster.
Buddha.
How could a hen crow
So,
like that? He
The
asks.
Buddha is still here.
They retort, "Well, it has
Whoever
a mouth, hasn't
practices
it?"
and sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha.
They argue and argue till
These
the tears
days people
fall,
have got it all
really
wrong.
getting upset over
They
it.
don't know where the
But
Buddha
in the
is.
end, they're all wrong.
They say, if
Whether
I'd
you
been
say a
born in the
hen
time
or a
of the
rooster,
Buddha, I
they're
would have
only
become a
names.
disciple of his and become enlightened.
We establish these conventions,
just
saying
foolishness.
a rooster is like this, a hen
Don't
is
go
like
thinking
that,
at the end of the
a
rains
rooster
retreat
cries
you'll
like
disrobe.
this, a
Don't
hen
think
cries
like
like that.
In an
This is
instant,
how
an
we get
evil
stuck
thought
in
can
the
arise
world.
in the mind. You could kill somebody.
Remember
In the
this.
same way, it only
Actually,
takes a split
if
second
you just
for
say
good to
that
flash
really
into
there's
the
no
mind.
hen
and no rooster,
you're there
then
already.
that's the end of it.
And don't think that you have to ordain
In
for a
the
long
field
time
of
to be able to
conventional
meditate.
reality, one
The
side
right
is right
practice
and the other
lies in
side
the
is
instant
wrong.
we make karma.
But there will never be a
In a
complete
flash, an
agreement.
evil thought arises, and before you know,
Arguing
you've
till the
committed some
tears-
heavy karma.
Arguing
In the
till
same way,
tears
all the
fall
disciples of the
has no
Buddha
use.
practiced for a long time, but the time they
The
attained
Buddha taught
enlightenment
not to
was
cling.
merely one thought moment.
How do we practice non-clinging?
So,
Don't be
practice
heedless,
simply
even
by
in
giving
minor
up
things.
clinging. But this
Try hard.
non-clinging
Try to
is
get
very
close to the
difficult to
monks.
understand.
Contemplate things.
It takes
and then
keen
you'll know
wisdom
about
to
monks.
investigate and penetrate
Well,
this.
That's
to really
enough, huh?
achieve non-clinging.
Must be getting late now. Some people are getting
When you think
sleepy.
about it, whether people
Buddha
are
said,
happy or
"Must teach
sad,
Dhamma to
content or
sleep."
discontent, doesn't depend on their having little or having much.